Here we are on Icicle. This is special stage number 4, New England Forest Rally 2012. And we're waiting on Antoine Lestage. Antoine Lestage already has a 15-second lead on David Higgins. I don't think he's going to be lifting off the loud pedal quite yet. Maybe at the end of the day he'll reevaluate if he needs to push this hard tomorrow. We're going to see him up in any moment now. He could get a rock to us here.
Really?
Yeah. Depending on how much he's got the car rotate. Maybe not, but...
Are there only 2 sort of pro drivers on this one today? Is Higgins considered up in the...
Yeah.
Golly, I hate to be number 2 trying to catch you.
Yeah, so one thing we're seeing right now, David Higgins might not be able to catch Antoine Lestage if he wants to, because he's got to drive through this to do it. Obviously, we have 2-minute windows for these first 3 cars based on the seated draw. So the first 3 cars do get a bit of a break, but as it gets into the afternoon hours like this, the wind often dies, and it's more likely, especially in these low-lying areas, that the dust hangs out for a minute and could hang out long enough for the next car to come through. I got to tell you, coming out of, say, a shaded area and into an area with dust where there's sun on the dust, it is really hard as a driver to see where the stage goes. You can see how the dust started to blow away and it's just kind of sitting here because there's not really a clear place for it to all go. In fact, that's why we're going to even leave a larger berth for ourselves after these cars get down to 1-minute intervals, because when there's tons of dust, they don't know where to go. They might take a turn and head this direction. So, like I was saying, Antoine Lestage, 15-second lead on David Higgins so far. Maybe tomorrow morning he might really differently evaluate his options for how hard he should be pushing. But right now, I think he's going as hard as he can and putting as big of a lead on David as he can for right now. Other things that I know, Crazy Leo thinks he's got a rear differential or some problem in his driveline. When we saw him earlier on Concord Pond, his flashers were going, but he appeared still to be at 90 to 95% full speed. But as a driver, if he's hearing a lot of noises in there and the car's doing some weird stuff, it's definitely going to pull his confidence back and make him not want to attack as much as he normally would want to go. So that's Leo. Leo currently is in 5th position. Behind Antoine and David was Raman Alagaman, only 10 or 15 seconds back on David Higgins after Concord Pond. Then 4 seconds back of him is Lachlan O'Sullivan. So they've already run this 16-mile stage as stage 3, and we're catching the rerun of this stage the other direction. The first time through on stage 3, Ramana and Chrissy got a flat and drove a lot of the stage on a flat. I think it was 9 miles they drove on a flat. So they feel like that cost them around 20 seconds or so. See how much dust is still hanging out as a car enters the area we're in? So Ramana and Chrissy feel like that cost them around 20 seconds or so. Here's the really good news for Ramana. If he's right, the next car after the seated draw cars, he might still end up with a 2-minute window, and that's really going to be important with the dust here. David Higgins on deck.
If you want one of those cool nature shots, watch the dust through the trees.
Oh, yeah.
When
Holy cow. I'm back here putting the windows up in our car so we don't wear a bunch of dust after we leave here.
Of course we're downwind.
Would be, right? All right. So David Higgins definitely not taking it easy. He's just got to finish 6th place or higher to clinch the championship. he's definitely not going to be taking any chances about that. And what we saw there, I mean, he's definitely getting the business done, but I'd say he's not taking any extra chances. I wouldn't say he's going off jumps as hard as he could or doing any bridge crossings at full speed either. It's just my guess, especially on a stage like this that really does have some rough sections and some larger rocks on the edges of the road and standing up in the middle. Okay, next we'll see Crazy Leo come by. His car's sound is very distinguishable from Ramina's, so we'll know who it is before they get here. All right, so Ramana has started the stage. We'll see him in about 4 minutes. And that means we're still about 30 seconds away from seeing Leo come by. I definitely did hear from quite a few drivers about Concord Pond being more slippery than they anticipated, and that definitely goes along with what I saw earlier about the number of loose rocks and loose material on the surface of the stage. As some of you know, they did a bit of regrading on Concord Pond this year. They're putting up some windmills in the area, and those windmills coming in on the long trucks necessitated that they chop down some of the crest that made some of those huge jumps. So the main stages, are we in Maine now? Okay. These stages here in Maine are a little bit different. They're named Icicle this year. I think it's our first year calling them that.
Icicle Brook.
Icicle Brook. They're a bit different this year, and then all of Saturday's stages are different, but I think the hope remains that next season we'll return to being able to use some of the stages that are historically Maine stages. Again, back next year in 2013 here at the New England Forest Rally. Sounds like Leo is close. Yeah, that's Leo. I didn't see any blinkers on Leo's car, and he was driving a speed that makes him look confident. Hey Bill,
Yeah,
can you see if we have an audio still from me over here?
I can hear you.
All right, good.
Can't see you, but I can hear you.
All right. We'll just let you choose how long we're staying here in this much of a dust bowl.
Yeah, we'll probably do like see Rom go by and that'll be that.
Well, we should get Rom and Lachlan
Okay.
since they're in a battle.
Okay.
And then, well, next is Will.
Yeah.
So the other news we want to bring you is going to come from the service area at the end of these stages. Before drivers and co-drivers go tuck off for the night, we're going to make sure we get ourselves back there and get some interviews done so we've got the full story on what's what about how today went for everybody. So Ramana and Chrissy will be up next. I should have looked at my watch to get an interval. We'll get an interval time on Ramana, and then we'll get one on Lachlan, and we'll see who's ahead between Ramana and Lachlan for the lead of super production. We were all looking forward to Travis Hansen being back to full health for this event and having a strong motor again. And I believe the potential was there, but Travis hit something and ripped a wheel off on the first stage of the rally, unfortunately. So we're not going to see how his battle shapes up. It will be interesting to see how well David Sterricks goes now that his car has gotten tuned a bit better and they found a massive blockage in the exhaust of that car. So it's going to be making a ton more power than it did in the past. Yeah, so it looks to me like Ramana is getting a 2-minute dust window. Now, they may have gone to 2-minute windows for the entire field. They discussed that earlier if the dust was bad enough. Yeehaw! Rom was just as quick through here than the others looked, in my opinion.
That was cool. Sorry. Little microphone adjusting here.
Okay. So I saw him come through on at 5:40 and 18 seconds. We'll see what we get when Lachlan O'Sullivan cruises through next. Hey, Sky. How's the dust up there?
What did he say?
It's good till they go through and then it's dusty. I still can't see. There he is. Hey, Sky, we're bailing in about 4 more cars. Or maybe 2 more cars, depending on you. Do you want to throw me that water so we don't forget it? All right. So Lachlan O'Sullivan, earlier on in the day, Lachlan O'Sullivan was worried about his subframe. It's bent or tweaked or cracked or something, and they didn't know about it until they got here. Judging by the stage times, it looks like they were able to get the car aligned quite well, because I know Ramana is putting down some quick times. So if Lachlan's staying right there, which he is, he must be in pretty good shape. They look dead on to me. Both of them at 18 seconds. They're tied up to this point.
Are they going 1 minute intervals or 2 now?
We'll see.
What was that?
I didn't pay attention.
Oh, I think it was, yeah.
I think it was 2.
Okay.
Dust can't make up its mind where it's going.
Gives you a sensitivity for all the troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. Up with dust.
That live in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's 43.
2-minute interval.
Yeah, they've just called it 2-minute intervals. Sky, 2-minute intervals for the rest of the field. 2 minutes for the rest of the field. Okay. All right, we'll be seeing Will Orders and Chris Duplessis up as the next 2. And then we're probably going to hit the gas out of here. This sounds like Will Order's car. Whew, that thing's fast. Rear-wheel drive and 300 plus horsepower. If you ask Chris Duplessis, he says it's 700 horsepower though. He'll be the next guy through this racing. And
Have you ever interviewed Chris?
oh yeah, I know him well.
He and his father-in-law were up on Mount Washington together for the.
Oh, I've heard this story. He was with you then, when he was 13?
Yeah.
Or he was really young? Yeah.
I was the radio guy with him.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have heard the story from Chris and his dad. So for anybody that hasn't heard the story, when Chris Duplessis was young, he was attending a race with his dad out at Mount Washington, and it was a Legends car. A Legends car crashed, caught on fire, and Chris, at the age of 13, was the one that saved the guy's life and got him out of the car and to safety. So that was really, really cool, full story to hear. He got an award for that, right?
Tuition to any college he wanted to go to.
Oh, an award which looked like a lot of tuition to go to whatever college he wanted to. Do you want to throw me the bug spray?
Sure.
Or just carry it? Nice.
You want to sign off from the cloud?
Yeah. You know what you'd call it?
Yeah, I can't even see you.
Okay, this is Matthew Johnson. What you're watching is stage 4 of the New England Forest Rally. This gives you a small sample of what it's like to drive these stages encrusted in dust. This is the last stage of the first day of the event. It's day 1. We've got 7 more stages on day 2, Saturday, tomorrow. We hope you join us then. You can check this out on the Rally America YouTube channel and obviously follow Rally America's Twitter account to keep up with us. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with a departing shot from Chris Duplessis, battling wheel orders for top spot in two-wheel drive. That doesn't sound like... That's not a Chris Duplessis.